What's up, fun? Hello. Today I want to talk about a YouTube channel that genuinely shaped my English journey. I want to talk about English with Lucy YouTube channel. But before we start to talk about English with Lucy, actually, I want to talk a bit about my screen. Don't you think that this looks gorgeous? I mean, this screen is actually one of the gorgeous screens of all time. This is a MacBook Air screen. I'm using for cheap MacBook Air 2024. Um, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful, and I'm just using the last up to date of all Mac OS system. And but this is not about MacBook Air, of course. Yeah. Let me just go dive into the today topic. So I want to talk about English with Lucy. Now this is her YouTube channel. Actually, you can just have access by just typing right on searching bar section on YouTube English with Lucy, and you will just prompt right away to the channel to her YouTube channel. In this case, she has more than 10 million of subscribers, and we got here 448 videos published by her. She's amazing, one of the best YouTube tutor of all time, at least for me, right? So I discovered this channel about 5 years ago. Actually, at the end of this video, I'll just try to kind of put some videos that we can just watch together. Actually, some funny moments of Lucy, and this is incredible, actually. So, as I was saying, I discovered this channel about 5 years ago. At a time when I was learning English completely on my own. For those who don't know, actually, I just started to learn English on my own 5 years ago. And at the time, I was just actually living at the uni dorms, and it was like the last year of my bachelor degrees, and it was a pretty fun time actually because at the same time the COVID-19 was just got popping in the country, and I had like a full time to stay home and then just you know uh, um browsing into the world of learning a language. And what happened is just like instead of just learning English, I just ended up by just falling in love with the process of learning. Language in general. I created a huge network, and I have learned a lot of other language that include Spanish, Italian, French, and so on. I speak more than five languages nowadays, which is incredible. Actually, I'm kind of like polyglot now, and I'm also kind of like try to push up my fellas on how to do that. Okay, the reason why I'm just actually putting this on the table. So, as I was saying, I discovered this channel about 5 years ago, at a time when I was learning English completely on my own. No formal classes, no private tutor, just discipline, curiosity, and a clear goal. I wanted to sound confident, natural in English. While searching for quality content, I came across with English with Lucy, and honestly, it felt like finding the right guide at exactly the right moment. What makes English with Lucy special is the clarity. For me, Lucy explains English in a way that is structured, calm, and very human. She doesn't rush. She doesn't complicate things just to sound smart. Every lesson feels international. Intentional. Whether she's teaching pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, or fluence, you always know why something works the way it does. And that kind of clarity is priceless, especially when you're studying a land, of course, as I was just doing at the moment. Another strong point is pronunciation and accent training. Of course, as you know that I love actually British accent, English with Lucy was a perfect way to learn a British culture. Lucy pays attention to the small details that many learners struggle with, like, for example, vowel sound, word strikes, connected speech, intonations, and these are things that are transform your English from understandable to natural. Now, watching her video helped me train my ear and my mouth at the same time, and that's what I'm trying to do nowadays because I've got a community, a team, a group of people, fellas, that I'm just also trying to retrace Lucy's steps in order to give them tips on how to improve the speaking English skills. Now, I also appreciate the real life facts of her content. She doesn't teach English as a school subject, she teaches it as a living language. Now, everyday expressions, polite way to speak, common mistakes learner makes, and and how to native speakers I mean how native speakers actually talk, right? This helped me to feel more confident when speaking, uh, uh, um, because I won't just memorize, because I wasn't just memorizing rule, I was learning usage. At that time I had three personal rules that I followed strictly, and English with Lucy fits perfectly into them. Like, the first rule was like read aloud. Now I remember that one of the book that I just take a look on what I mean on internet, and I downloaded the PDF, which was completely free, was on how to be an alien, which was a book written by George Mark from Hungary, Budapest, actually, and the guy was just like living in the UK, and in that book he was just trying to kind of like give us or to explain people on how British people behavior, on how to behave when you are in England, what it look like to live in England, what it look like to have a relationship with the, people from England, and things like that. Now, whenever Lucy introduced new vocabulary or example sentence, I read them out loud, just like the book that I just mentioned here, and not silently, not in my heart. And speaking out loud trained my pronunciation and built muscles memory. This is a fundamental when you're just learning English. Mainly, we just learn. I know that people from Africa, for example, just like me, I'm from Africa, Mozambique. One of the biggest problem or challenge that we face, what we came across when it comes about learning a language, not only English, is to find someone who can just speak with, a tutor, a guide, things like that. So you've got to do that. That's the only way to overcome this challenge. Now, second rule was to watch video consistently. I wanted to have video almost daily. More than 5 hours a day, and even short videos made a difference. Consistent, moderate mood and duration. Now, the third and final rule was to mimic native speakers, and of course, I've been mimicking Lucy for obvious reasons. I want to sound like a Lucy. I want to sound like a British guy. I want to learn like a British culture, RP, which is a received pronunciation accent, which is a standard and the accent that Lucy used on her videos. I paused the video, repeated after Lucy, copied her rhythm, her intonations, and her poses. I wasn't trying to be perfect, but I was training my brain to think and sound more English. Now, finally, English with Lucy didn't just to teach me English, it gave me a method, a model, and the confidence that self-start can work if you use the right resource and stay disciplined. Now, if you're learning English on your own, or even if you are already advanced but want to sound more natural, this is one of those channels I genuinely recommend, not because it's popular, but because it works. And for me, it will always be part of my English story. Now, we're gonna just open up some of the video here. There's nothing about to talk about Lucy that even voice a single video from home. Actually, there's so many video here, as I have shown here, like more than 448 videos are released by Lucy. on yeah and then let me just see here. We got vocable, stop saying, lots of tips here. Like, okay, British accent course. Let me just put here British accent course.
Hello, lovely students, and welcome back to English with Lucy.
Hello, lovely students, and welcome back to English with Lucy. Now, that's what I was used to say. I used to say to mimic her. And this is a perfect way to train your, not accent actually, but your English. You will end up by just sounding like her, of course, but the idea here is just to train your tongue, to familiarize yourself with the words themselves, okay?
For your modern RP English course.
That's what I'm talking about. Modern RP English course. By the way, fun thing here, I just learned on how to pronounce properly R with Lucy. And nowadays, of course, I used to teach people, like to give tips to people on how to properly pronounce R sound. I mean R. This is a consonant and it's kind of like funny, but people struggle a lot to not how to pronounce the R in this case. Yeah, like not only R, but also like some vowels. Specific vowels on how to. I mean, how R sounds most of the time when it comes after vowel. And in the British English, of course, because many of the vocabulary words that I know actually, I know them in the British way. So I try to translate this to other people on the
I'm going to
exercise.
share
Yeah.
with you my secret recipe
Okay.
to help you speak English with my modern RP accent. We
Yes.
are going to examine 6 key in RP my accent, like how this accent. We get started. I have an exciting announcement. I have just local pizza. Let's begin with our base in very little the schwa sound.
The schwa sound.
Pepper,
Pepper, butter, pepper. This is funny actually. Which English is funny actually. Yeah.
carrot,
Carrot,
yogurt.
yogurt,
Try this.
lemon.
Pause the video now.
Now, actually, guys, what I'm just trying to say here is that Lucy has so many tips to give you. I would like to recommend you actually to use English with Lucy as a guide to boost your English from whatever B level to C or C1 to C2, whatever what level you are now. And this is an amazing YouTube channel. And let's see, this is what you actually thanks you. I was able to start from scratch to the level that I do have now. Like I even I can not like have interviews in English. I can speak with the native speakers, people from UK, from US, and things like that. And thank you so much, Lucy, for this amazing job that you're doing day in and day out. People sometimes take for granted when it comes about to mimic, to shadow native speaker, and I just improved my speaking skills by just doing that and reading loud out loud, doing some daily exercise, some habit that got to start, of course, as those 3 rules that I managed to put on the tab during my speech. So thank you very much. Don't forget to hit that that sub button. Leave your comment if you want me to just bring on the type more videos YouTube channels that might be important to you in order to boost your English speaking skills. Thank you very much. Bye.